Well, good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear my mic? Just want to make sure everything is working before I get started. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
I can hear you loud and clear, Lindsay.
Awesome, awesome. And you can see my screen as well?
I do. It's a winter wonderland.
Well, I gotta get into the spirit right before the holiday season. Gotta make something out of this. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Just so everybody is aware, this session is being recorded. So that way in the future, if you or a staff member would like to be appointed or directed to this presentation, you're more than welcome to. Let me just silence my cell phone. So yes, we will go ahead and get started because we do have a lot of info to cover. Hopefully you'll all received the link to the notes that I created for this training. If you're confused by that style, this is how I usually come up with notes for every single task I do to this office. So if you don't have that, I'm putting it in the chat right now. So you're more than welcome to have access to it and download that at your leisure and take notes. What might be obvious to me may not be obvious to you. So feel free to write all over that. So just a real quick introduction in case there are some people who don't know who I am. You may have seen an email from me, but you do not know exactly who I am. My name is Lindsey Munyon. I'm one of the administrative associates over here at the District 9 headquarters. Specifically, I am charged with the task of helping Dr. Shackelford with a lot of his tasks and what he needs to do as a region program leader. I also handle travel and a bunch of other miscellaneous tasks here at the office. In the future, if you get emails from future Lindsey Shepherd, that's not a different person. I got engaged back in July. So in the next 5 months, you might see my name change. It's the same person, just different last name. And right there is my contact info. If you ever have any questions on how to use Eventbrite, how to do anything, please, please, please feel free to call me, email me. I'm more than happy to help y'all out. So without further ado, I'm going to turn off the PowerPoint presentation and we are going to switch over to the Eventbrite. What we're going to do is I'm going to present Eventbrite to you inside of the website. I'm going to show you the actual website and we're going to walk through step by step if you were going to set up a virtual program, how you would do that, start to finish, beginning to end, and then a couple of other tools and stuff that you will need and that are very useful in Eventbrite for your program. So can everybody see the website login Eventbrite screen right here?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, good. Just want to make sure of that. All right, awesome. So first thing, this will be what will happen when you pop up Eventbrite. It'll ask you to sign up or log in. So you'll just go ahead and log in or create an account. You'll do the same thing either way. I recommend you do use your work email. The reason being is that anytime somebody asks a question in Eventbrite through the service, it will be directed through your email and it will go to your work inbox. And then you can reply to them through your email workbox. Keeps everything in one central hub. You don't have to go digging anywhere. You don't have to go in Eventbrite to respond to a question. You can do it all through your Outlook. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get logged in. If I can remember my password, because we all have, I feel like, a dozen passwords now. Now, when you first sign up for Eventbrite, you're going to get a bunch of extra windows saying what kind of events you want to view and other like options. It's to help Eventbrite help you with finding events and or creating events. You can skip all these windows. They're not necessary. So going step by step, we're going to click up here where it says create event. That's where we're going to start. So we're going to create an event. Again, when you do this for the first time, it's going to pop up a window saying like, what kind of event are you creating? You can disregard all of that because you've got the notes here. So we're going to be good to go. This first screen is the basic information. You've got 3 categories: basic information, location, date, and time. So we're just going to start from the top. Event title is obviously the title of your event. Yeah, we're going to put example event. Organizer. I've had a couple of different organizations already that I've helped with programs in the past before. This is really up to your preference. You can put Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. You can put Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Harris County. You could put the committee that you're helping this with. Any of those will work. It just has to have a name. If you can't find one, the best default, I think, is Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Type. This is the type of event we are putting on. Based on the subcategories of these, there are 2 categories and types of events that fall, I believe, the closest to what we do. It is either conference or it is a seminar or talk. So either one of those will work for you. It's up to your preference. Category, the best one, again, that fits us is family and education, because majority of the time we are educating people. And then you can put a subcategory. You can put education or you can put other. Again, education probably is the best one. Tags, this is similar to how, you know, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. These are just tags to help people find you. This will catch any of the maybe random people who might not be in your clientele list. You can put those tags right here, and you can catch them. You can say like AgriLife, you can say agriculture, horses, that kind of thing. So you can put tags, you can put 10 tags in there. They could be really long, honestly. So once you're done with that, we'll scroll down to location. Since we use Eventbrite for majority of our virtual conferences, we're going to select online event. Seems pretty self-explanatory. And then we've got date and time. Now, for if you've got a single event happening, as in this is just the one-time deal, it can span multiple days, but if it's just a one-time event, then you're going to pick single event. Reoccurring events is usable, but I find that the best way to use events is if you're putting on the exact same type of program each time. So majority of the time, you're probably going to do a single event. So you'll select which event you want to do. You could put the start and end time. I do recommend that you go ahead and just list the start and end time when you are putting that on there. And again, also make sure that your time zone is correct. It should default to our area, which is United States, Chicago Central Standard Time. That's us. So anybody has any other, do we have any questions right now, or are we pretty good to go so far? You can just put a thumbs up in the chat from anybody if we're good to go, or you can ask. It's pretty standard information right now, but I imagine in a little bit we might get to some bigger stuff. All right, I got a thumbs up. We're good to go. So once you're done with all of this, you can go ahead and hit save and continue. All righty. Now, from this point forward, any of this information that you have is editable, regardless of how far into the program you are. You need to be the day of the program, and this information is editable. So if you need to change how many tickets you're selling, a description, you need to change something about the link, all of it is editable. So never feel like you're totally cemented into anything. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. All right, this page will focus mainly on these tabs, and you'll notice in your notes that my notes are centered around these tabs. These are the step-by-steps on how to set it up. These are tools that you're going to be able to use while you're collecting registration and afterwards. So we're here on details. First thing you'll see is main event image. You can place either a logo created for your event, or you can place the Texas A&M AgriLife extension logo here. If you've got the file, and I want to say it's a media file that they have for their advertisement when you're doing online advertisement. There is a maroon and gray web logo from there that will work perfectly fine in here. In fact, maybe I could just go ahead and pop it in here. Yep, I still have it open. It'll fit. This is the best one that fits the best. The only issue is it crops a little bit of the N and a little bit of the A out. But if you're wanting to get the AgriLife extension logo on here, this is the best photo I've found out of that pack that works. So you can put that on there. You don't have to. You can put the AgriLife logo anywhere else. This is just if you don't have anything else. Another thing to note, this is basically the front page of your event. So when you give people the link to register, the information on this details page is going to be the first thing they see when they come to register. So keep that in mind. Now we move down to description. You can write a summary right here. It's a 140 character summary, so short and sweet. What is the goal of the conference? What is your program? Very short and sweet. After that, you'll notice that they start you with one text box. Now, you can add extra boxes. You can add another text box if you want. Oh, it's going to make me type an example. Right there. You can add another text box. In these text boxes, you can select different types of font, not really different type. Actually, here's your font. So you can pick a different font. You can select bold italics. You can put a hyperlink in here. It's not going to do it automatically for you. So if you do copy and paste a hyperlink into this box, just make sure you do hyperlink it, double check it. You can put bullet points, number points. You can move these boxes up and down. Actually, that's not going to show up very well. You can delete the boxes. Another type of box you can add is an image. So a great thing that I recommend people put in this image is your flyer, or maybe even also a schedule. If you've got either of those and you can turn them into a JPEG or a PNG file, those are great things to put on here. Saves you the trouble of typing it all up. Since you've advertised with it, it lets people know they're in the right place. And you just drag and drop the image the same as you've done everything else. So again, and you can arrange with these arrows right next to it. That just changes the order. The trash can obviously deletes anything. When you add a video, it'll just request the link and it'll put the actual video and embed it into the page. I haven't used this a lot, but it is there as an option. When you are done editing everything and you're happy with how it looks, I'm just going to put a text here. And I am going to go ahead and add an image. We're just going to add that exact same one. The great thing about this image is that it's not limited by size. You know how this one is limited by this ratio you'll see here, this pixel ratio. That's why it crops it, because it's limited. Down here, you're not going to have that limitation. So you can put in an entire flyer. You can put a whole schedule on here. A PNG that was a PDF fits totally well in here. People can expand it and see the information. Once you're happy with all of that, you're going to once again hit save and continue to move forward. All right. Now on the next page, we've got the online event page. So this is the page that pops up since we selected the fact that this is a virtual conference. The first section you're going to see on this is add live video. Do not use this, or at least I don't recommend you use this. What this does is it live streams your conference to this page, which sounds good, but from my understanding and from doing these programs, it is very confusing. People don't know if they're actually watching the video. They don't understand why they can't type in the chat box or ask questions. It's because they're viewing the live stream and not actively in the meeting. So my recommendation is that you completely disregard this. You don't have to do anything with this section right here. What I do recommend is that you go under add additional details and you edit this part of the page. So you can add text. And again, it's the same as the page we just worked on before. You can add the text box. So let's say you have a Zoom invitation. It's recommended, or at least I recommend, that you type the entire or copy and paste the entire Zoom invitation into this box. So that way people can see the entire invitation. You've got it hyperlinked again, and it also has the login information for if they call. If you've got a Teams link, same thing. You can just write up a short description about, you know, what the link is. Like, here's the Microsoft Teams link to join the meeting. You can put any of that info there. You can also add other information, such as what time the meeting is again, a recommendation to join 10 to 15 minutes early in case of issues with logging in or technical difficulties. And then you can add also, again, an image. If you want to add another image here, you're more than welcome to. Again, you can change the order of these boxes. And then the third and final thing I would recommend is that you add a link. And this is where you can put the actual meeting link. And then you can put the link to whatever it is you want to see. Or you can even link a document. It says here, external document. So you can even link, let's say you want them to have notes. So you can link that document right here and have them view it. The great thing also about this section, and this is something I actually discovered, you're always learning something new with technology. When you have these options, you can click on this cog and it'll say edit text or edit image. And you can actually restrict who sees this information based on what ticket they bought. So let's say that you're having multiple breakout sessions at the same time. So you've got multiple Zoom links, but you don't want to share all of the links, obviously. You only want to share what they paid for. So you would have one link for cattle and one link for horticulture. So then you can click here, and right now I have no tickets. So it's not showing me any of the options. But here, once we create tickets, which we will do in the next step, you can come back to here and say, I only want this text box with the cattle information to show for people who bought cattle tickets. And I want this information that has the horticulture information to only show the horticulture for people who bought a horticulture ticket, if that makes sense. So I thought that was a really cool feature. And then also, let's say, you know what, we're still working on things. I don't want them to see this information right now. You can select hidden until event starts, or you can customize when the information is live. So you can wait until the very last minute to show the information if you so choose. And then once you're done with all your changes, you just hit apply right here. So it saves all that information. And again, I'm going to just do this for that one. You can delete any of the boxes. Once you're finished with all of that, you've got two buttons right here. They're going to start. This is a preview button. You'll notice multiple preview buttons as you are editing this information. We'll go over one last preview button. That'll happen in the publish title. But just to let you know, if you get to this point and you want to make sure everything looks good, you can click on either one of these and you can preview your web page. Oh, well, okay, we're just going to delete that. Save and continue. All right, tickets. This should be pretty much self-explanatory, but again, we're just going to go through really quickly how to do this. If you haven't added a ticket yet already to your event, it's going to automatically pop up this side screen. If it doesn't, you're just going to hit create a ticket right here, this big orange button. There are two different types of tickets I believe y'all will mainly be working with, either paid tickets or free. The only difference being this price box will be grayed out if you select free. For paid tickets, or well, let's just say this, we're going to work in the paid section for now because that has a couple of stipulations. For paid tickets, you've got the name, And you can change this name to anything you want. If you've only got one ticket, general admission is a completely fine name. If you're doing multiple different breakout sessions, you would name them by the different breakout sessions. Quantity, you can have as many tickets as you want to sell. I find that people tend to either double, at least maybe even triple what their predicted attendance is going to be. That just gives you enough threshold to work with, so that way, in case something crazy happens, you don't run out of tickets and then you don't have any to sell. Because once Eventbrite runs out of tickets, it'll stop allowing people to buy tickets, obviously. So you don't want that to happen to where people can register. So picking a threshold that's pretty well above what you're predicting to sell. Price. From what I've been understanding, most of y'all's cost recovery programs are usually about $20, at least the ones where I've worked with the CEUs. So you can type that there. Now, we can see that popped up this checkbox for absorbing fees. It says ticketing fees are deducted from your ticket revenue. We do want this, or maybe I guess it's up to y'all. But the description of this is basically saying if we don't absorb the fees, the buyer of the ticket is going to eat the service fee and the processing fee. The service fee is Eventbrite's fee for using its service. The processing fee is the cost of using a credit card. So it's either you have the person who's purchasing the ticket pay for that, or you do. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure 100% of the time you're going to want to absorb the fees and not have the actual individual absorb the fees. But again, this can be left to your discretion. Sales start time. There's a couple of options for this one. You can either select a date and time for these to start, or you can just say when sales end. So basically that's just saying, I want the sales to start right now, but I want them to end at a specific date, instead of saying date and time when you want them to start and when you want it to end. So you'll put that data right here. You'll put the date and the time. We'll go to advanced settings. You can write a description of the ticket. If you don't want to show a ticket as available anymore, you can select hidden, or you can say hidden when not on sale, so it doesn't even show the ticket option. Or you can customize the schedule for visibility. Tickets per order. Usually this is one person per ticket. I know there have been some instances where like an entire office is going to be attending. So they want to give credit to everybody who's watching if they're only maybe watching from one location, or somebody is buying bulk tickets. So then in that case, you could have them order 10 tickets at a time. Sales channel is obviously going to be online only. And again, all of these options are the same for free. The only difference is the price is grayed out. So for the sake of this, and so that way I don't have to worry about any collection fees, I'm going to put free. And we're going to hit save. And there's my ticket. And again, all of this information is editable. If you need to come in here and increase the number of tickets, or you need to change if it's hidden or not, or you need to do something else, you're more than welcome to. Majority of the time, these options are not going to be used by you. These are things like add-ons and promos and other miscellaneous things that just aren't going to be used. So then once you're done with all of your tickets, you're going to hit next at the very bottom. All right, so now here's my event. This is basically the end. You've put in all the major details. You'll notice the preview button right here at the very center. We can click that. And so what this does, it opens up the preview, what your participants will see when they are registering for your event. So they can see this is the title. Then there's going to be the description right here. We've got our photo. This would be probably where our pamphlet is. We've got our tags. We've got our date and time start. The fact that this is an online location. If they've already got a ticket, they can access the event right here. It will take them to that online event page, the one where we added the Zoom links and everything. When they register, they'll click here, and they'll open up this window, and this is where they will begin the registration process. It won't let us register right now because we haven't published the event, but that's what would happen. Once you're done previewing, you can close the preview. All right, and then once you're happy with all of that, you're ready to publish. So for publishing, you've got two options over who can see your event. Majority of the time, you'll probably pick public, you know, which allows basically Eventbrite to share it. If somebody Googles it, it'll pop up on the search engine, etc. If you want, the option for private is available. And there's a couple of options for this. Anyone with a link basically means anybody who has a link to the direct registration can see it. Only people with an invitation, or only people with a password. If you pick only people with a password, you would give them the link, and then you would give them this password if you would want them to view that. Again, this is probably not something you'll use. Majority of the time, you will probably pick public because we serve the public, so you want anybody who can log on to attend. Alrighty, publish options. You can either publish it now, or you can pick a day to schedule it. And that'll just open this up so you can pick whichever time or date works for you when you're ready to get registration. Or you can publish it now. One thing I will note is that once you are ready for all of this, depending on whether you say schedule publish or publish now, changes what the orange button says, but it's basically the same. Publish now, it's going to say publish. You schedule to publish, it's going to say schedule, which means it's just going to go ahead and put it on its calendar to publish. But once you're ready, you can click publish. And my event is done. It's going to show you a couple marketing overviews, but we don't really need to worry about any of this right now. It will give you the link to your event right here. But if you look at that, it's not a very pretty link. And it's got the name in there, but it's also got all these numbers, and we don't like those. So if you don't like that link and you want to change it, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to move to our dashboard, but as I'm moving to our dashboard, we're about halfway through. Are there any questions from anybody right now? Or you can put a thumbs up in the text box if you're good to go. Oh, I got multiple thumbs up that time. Awesome. All right, we're good to go. We'll keep going then. All righty. So this is your Eventbrite dashboard. Anytime you exit out of Eventbrite and come to check on your event, it will automatically take you to this dashboard. It's kind of like a central hub. It's going to show you how many tickets you've been selling. You know, if it's a ticket that's got a price, it'll show you your payout in this window over here. It'll show you the sales by ticket type. You can get reports like attendee summary and questions, and a bunch of other information here. But we're going to scroll all the way down because we said we didn't like that link. So we come down here to this box where it says your event URL. So we can see this is our URL right here, which is fine. But if you want to change it to something else, maybe something a little bit more concise, you can click the edit button right underneath it. And it'll say your URL, and then it'll put automatically the .eventbrite.com. So I can put, you know, like we did one for the South Texas Farm and Ranch Show. So they did South Texas Farm and Ranch Show 2020. That's kind of what they did with theirs. You can put gardening on the Gulf, which is one we've used before. So for this one, I'm going to put example event 2, because I made another one, at eventbrite.com. You'll click save. Oh, well, example text. There we go. Okay. So once you put that in there, That's your new URL. So now that's something that looks a little bit nicer. If you want to put that in a pamphlet, you can use this button right here to copy it, or you can just hit your normal copy button and you will copy and paste that. And that is how you will promote to register people for your event. So now that we've got our URL link all done, we're going to start going through some of these other tabs that are over here, which basically have tools in them to help you change how you want to do your orders, manage your attendees, and a couple other things. So for order options, we're going to change the order form. Now, why you would want to change the order form, let's say you're putting on a program where people are getting CEUs, and this has come up a lot, you need their pesticide license number. So you may want to ask them that for their registration. So order form will pop up this window right here. You can change a couple of basic information right here, but we're going to focus right here where it says collect the information for each attendee. And then you can change what information is collected for what ticket. But we're going to go ahead and click this button that says customize checkout questions. Come on. Ricky. Oh, you know what? It's not going to let me because this is a free event, isn't it? Is it not going to let me because it's free? Hold on, I'm going to refresh. It may not let me because it's free, but I can't imagine why it would do that. There we go. Okay. Nope. I just needed to reset. Okay. So once you click that and it's blue, it'll show you all of the information that by default Eventbrite shows us things to collect. Most of the time, it'll just be first name, last name, email address. You might want to collect their home address and their home phone number. You can also ask if some of these buttons just don't want to work for me today. You can also specify whether you just want to include it or if you want to require it. So, but we're going to put in a new custom question. So we're coming all the way down to the bottom of that list, and we're going to go to add custom question. Okay. So for our question prompt, as you've seen, I've typed it before. Do you have a pesticide license number, or please type in your pesticide license number, something along those lines. So that's your question prompt. That's what the question is going to ask. There's different types of questions. You can do everything from checkboxes to a drop down to, I don't even know what radio buttons are, but that's interesting. It must be what I just did. A paragraph text. For the pesticide license number, just text is perfectly fine. You can have this option available for just specific ticket types, and it'll show you which tickets you have available. But majority of the time, it's going to be pretty much all of them. Show the attendee answer to this question on the order confirmation. If you're doing the pesticide license number one, I highly recommend you do this. So that way, if the attendee mistypes or they get it off by a digit, they can at least go back and make that change. Once you're ready with all your questions, you'll hit save. And if we scroll down now all the way to the bottom of this list, we'll see our custom question. And again, you can turn on and off whether or not you want it, but I imagine most people will want the pesticide license number. So that should be that. Group registration, that's something you can activate. I haven't honestly used that feature, but it is an option. Registration options, you can put on here extra instructions like, since you are collecting a CEU, please do not forget to insert your pesticide license number. You can put other instructions there as well. That's just what they're going to see when they register. Accept refund requests. You can decide for yourself whether or not you want to process that or not. So far, I haven't had anybody do refunds, but If you want to accept refund requests, you can click that option there. And then once you're done with all of those, you'll click Save. And it'll show your information has been saved. So you'll be good to go. Alrighty. Next thing we're going to go over under that same tab is order confirmation. This will handle two different types of order confirmations. The ones that your participants will see immediately after they register on the web page, and an email confirmation. I do recommend you have both, just for consistency's sake, and just so that we continue to get the information correctly out to our people. So for the customized web page one, again, this will be an on-screen message. So it'll say like, thank you, if I can type, thank you for registering. You will receive an email, and we look forward to seeing you there. Something along the lines of that. You can make it more custom again. You cannot put any links in this, unfortunately, but you can put text. So feel free to put any of that there. For the customized email, again, this will be an email they receive after registration. This you can do a lot more with. You can change the font size. You can put a hyperlink. You can change the color. You can do a lot more with this. So this will be the email they get. I highly recommend that you once again put the login information for the virtual conference in this confirmation email, because you can't send the link to them enough, in my opinion, because you will still get people who will say, I didn't get the link, or I don't know where the link is, or I don't know how to log on, even though you've sent it to them. So if as many times as you can, I do recommend you send them the link. If you've got different ticket types and you've got different links, again, you can do customized settings for each ticket type. So you can do one for one ticket type and one for another ticket type, I believe. But it's only showing me one because I only have one ticket. Make sure if you are going to do this customized web page that you click this button that right here that says include custom confirmation message. Oh, it gives you a new window. Okay, well, never mind. You don't have to do that then. You do not have to click that button. Include printable ticket. I don't know why they would want a printable ticket, but sure, you can leave it on there. Then you can click Save Settings when you're done. Order confirmation settings have been saved. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to the other nitty gritty, which is payment and tax. This is where it gets kind of crazy. Am I not going to have a payment and tax session? Click payments and tax. I am not, because I made mine free. So we're going to just go back and change that then, so that way I can, actually, I'll just go to the one I made before. By the way, this will actually be a good thing to show. If you are managing multiple events, you'll go to your tab, you'll click on it says events, and this will bring you up to all the events you have right now. These are all the ones I have currently published. You'll have ones that are in draft, or if you have any that are in the past that you want to look at. So we're going to go back to this example one that I created the other day just to make sure I had all of my information. So see, when you make a payout one, this is what the window looks like. So the thing with payouts on Eventbrite, it'll show you the day that they will be released to allow for any refunds. And it may take up to 4 to 5 business days to receive the funds. So that is that. So now that we know that it's a payable thing, and we're going to receive a payment, we need to put in our banking information. So we're going to go to this window that says payments and tax. Then we're going to go all the way down to payout method. Alrighty. Now currently I have I was helping with the South Texas Farm and Ranch show, so I have that in here. If you wanted to add a new one, you would just click Add New Payout Method. And I'm not going to show you that because that's got all the information for another person's bank account. So, but that will pop up the window for all the banking information. So you just fill it in. It's the usual banking stuff, routing number, etc. And then you'll click Save, and it will allow you to do that. The next thing we will have to do is do tax. So under the same window, we're going to go all the way down to tax. So right here it says tax settings. We may be required by state to blah, blah, local charges. Do you need to charge tax for this event? No, we do not need to charge state tax for this event. Unfortunately, the only thing that's very misleading about this is that you put in this, but it still needs your information from your W-9. So to change that information, you have to go to a completely different tab. So for the next one, to put in your W-9 information, you're going to go to your account profile, and you're going to click on Organization Settings. All right. And now you're in this window. None of this, I haven't changed any of it. You can edit a lot of things if you want to. It's not necessary. But once you get to this window, you'll come over here and you'll see the tab that says tax information. You're going to click on that. So again, I have the Farm and Ranch shows right here. You can ask to complete a new tax form. You'll pick I am a U.S. person or entity. You'll click Next. And you'll put in all of the information for the W-9. This is where you'll put it all. You'll click Next, answer a couple more questions, and save. This is where it'll go. So this will show that we're not collecting tax. We don't want them to, we don't need any tax because we're a state entity. And that's why we're not doing that. So if you reach a certain threshold, I believe it's 200 orders or more, they will automatically email you to remind you that you need to do this. Otherwise, I believe what happens is that they withhold their payment until you give them the tax information if you've indicated that you're doing this tax exempt. So that's how you edit that information. I don't know why it's in a completely different window, but it is, so we just have to work with it. So now we're going to go back to our event. Does anybody have any questions about that? That's one of the more confusing things that I've had to deal with when doing all of these accounts is figuring out where to put that tax information. Or you can put a thumbs up if you're ready to go. We got more thumbs ups. All right, so we're good to go. All righty. The next part we're going to go to, oh, actually two other things. Payment options is again under payments and tax. It defaults to the USD currency, obviously. It will accept all credit cards if your county has a PayPal. I don't know if many that do, but you can add that as well. You would have to link your PayPal account to accept that. I don't know who would have that, but that option is there. And then under refund policy, this is where you would edit that. You can ask for refunds 1 day, 7 days, 30 days. I don't want to specify a refund policy. No refunds. We do not offer refunds. And you can edit all of that information below. So in case you need to know where that is. But the majority of the time I have found that most people just don't do refunds. So take it or leave it. Next part, we're going to go under Manage Attendees. And this is a tab that allows you to not only track orders, but it also allows you to, the tool I end up using the most is it allows you to edit emails to attendees. So we'll go ahead and click on orders. So this is a good page to go to when somebody contacts you and they say, I don't know if my registration went through. I don't know if I paid for the right amount of tickets. Can you check it? And you can say, sure. You can search by order number, name, or email. You could probably search it by other things as well. And if you type that information in and hit search, it'll search it for you and it'll pop it up. If it doesn't, then you can say, we didn't receive your order. You'll have to register. It also shows you other reports that you can pull out. And all of these reports that you get are available to download into an Excel file spreadsheet. So if you need that information later, you're more than welcome to it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit emails to attendees. This is just a good tool to use. Eventbrite default creates 3 emails. It creates an email for 2 days before the event. It creates an email for 2 hours before the event. Then it creates an email for 10 minutes before the event. And if we look at one of the review of the message, this one says, your event's about to start. Join the event. It will take them to that online event page, the one, again, where we linked all the login information. So it'll take them there, and then they'll click that link to join the meeting, whether it's via Zoom or Teams. You can use those emails if you want. If you don't want to use them, you can delete them. You just simply click on this button right here. But let's say, oh, and then there's 2 tabs, sorry. One that's email scheduled. So it'll show you all the emails that are scheduled to go out. And then it'll show you emails you've been sent or have been sent in the past. So if you want to create a new email, you just click on create new attendee email. So from here, you can edit the subject line. The name is obviously, you can make it from the organization or you could say it's from you. The reply to email will default to the one on your account. So again, this is why it's recommended that you use your work account, your work email for that. 2, all the attendees. You can send it to specific attendees, attendees by ticket type. You can change all of that. And you can change the subject line. And then right here is where you will write your email. Again, very customizable. You can change the font. You can change the size, you can change the text, bullet points, put in HTMLs, everything you need to do in here. Again, this is where I would also put in the login information. And I know I've said that a lot, but again, you cannot send out the login information enough because some people will still say that they didn't get the login. So just there's another place where you can do it a couple of days in the future that says, hey, don't forget, this is coming up. Here is the login. If you have any questions, contact us. It'll include the event details as well in there as well. So you can send a test message to yourself just to make sure it looks right. And then you can either send the email now. You can schedule when you send the email. I guess you could pick a specific person to send it to, or you can send it to, you can pick it for how many days before the event. So you could say 3 days before the event, 5 days before the event, 2 hours before the event, whenever you want to. When you're satisfied with your email, you can click save. I'm clicking cancel because I don't want to send an email, but you would click save. Just going right through my notes, making sure we got everything. And I believe we did on that. The last and final thing that's a good tool to use for Eventbrite is this reports tab. Basically, again, it's just where you can gather reports on your event. So you can click on reports and then you click on event reports. And so again, these are the common reports, but you can get a report pretty much on everything. Sales by ticket type, the geography location of each ticket purchase. You can see the sales summary if you have a event that's paid for and you want to see the gross amount so that way you can have it for your files, you can click that. So sales summary, it'll show you everything. And again, you can export this and it'll be printable via an Excel or CSV. You can include the fees, or you can just show the gross amount. You can also do attendee summary, which basically is just how many people registered. So again, it would show you the order number, date, all the information you requested, all in there. Custom question responses, again. So it give you the first, last name, attendee number, blah, 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 registration, and somewhere down the line, after all the other information, it would show you their pesticide license number. That's the custom question we had asked. So you can get all of that information from here, download it into an Excel file sheet, and you've got it. This is great, especially if you don't want to continue to use Eventbrite, but you want to send out follow-up questions, ask for survey responses. You can do that through Eventbrite as well, but if you're more comfortable doing that through your own personal email or your own work email, I should say, then you're more than welcome to do that as well. You just download this information. It gives you the emails, and you can email all your attendees that way. Or, again, using that email to attendees page, you can pre-set up a survey page. So you can set up an email that says, thank you for attending. Here's the link of our survey. And you can have that scheduled to go out right at the end of your presentation. So that way you can get those responses. And I believe that is everything. And I recognize that that was a lot of information. But Eventbrite really does make it pretty cut straight on how to register for events and how to create a registration. And it has a lot of tools you can use. So we've got 5 minutes. I'm so glad. I thought I was going to go over. Do we have any questions about Eventbrite at all, or how it's used in programming, anything like that? Well, if Dr. Shackelford has taught me anything, is that usually about 10 seconds of silence is good before you move on. And either I just confused a lot of people or I informed a lot of people really well. So I'm hoping that helps. Again, this session is recorded. And this recording will be available most likely on our District 9 website. It is my goal to have that edited to make it look a little bit nicer for this next year. So you can absolutely go there to look up this video. I'll post it to YouTube and then link it there. I will leave these notes on there as well, so that way you can print them off at the same time. So again, if you have any questions at all, you're setting up an event and you're like, Lindsey, I can't remember where you put the tax information, please feel free to give me a call. I'm more than happy to have them. The notes will be on our District 9 website. I will also resend them out. If you didn't get them and you would like them, feel free to email me directly and I can also send them to you that way.
Can you also put them in the files of this event?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay.
So I will put them in the files of this team link, and so that way you can join this. You don't join it, but you can click on this meeting and it'll show you the files. So they will all be available all through those means. So if that's all the questions I had, I guess we're done. Thank you so much for attending this training. I really do hope it helps y'all a lot. And y'all have a wonderful weekend. Thank y'all so much.